Focus. There we go. Go. Start asking questions. This is Kyle, and I'm Paul. We're both from WREK. It's WREKage. It's a radio station here in Atlanta. We have a weekly radio show every Friday evening at midnight, and which is where I was last night. And
it's unfortunate that metal gets played at such a late time.
What's that?
It's unfortunate that metal gets played at such a late time.
Yeah, we used to start at 10 o'clock, and they... Oh, no, well, hey, listen. At one point, we had 8,000 listeners at peak, which is actually better than the local rock station did, because no one else was playing metal here.
Well, that's a niche market there. Certainly if you can get that, it's definitely worthwhile, because there's always someone wanting to listen to heavy music on the radio. It's like I grew up trying to find heavy music on the radio, so there's probably about 3, I think, stations that were doing it at various times during the week. It was always either, like 10 a.m. to like 4 in the morning or something.
Yeah, it's we run from midnight until we get tired, basically. Yeah. Or last night I got tired.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, so I guess I'll start off by asking a couple questions about your new record. Yeah. So I was kind of wondering, like, what were your influences, both like from a musical standpoint and then from a lyrical standpoint, and also like the direction with the artwork.
Okay. In terms of musical influence, I don't think there was necessarily anything that really influenced us for the music itself. It was, our first album was written over 9 years. The second album was written over maybe a year and a half or something like this. And Earn was written, a couple of the songs we worked on while we were on tour overseas, so we worked on it, sound check, and that sort of thing. And we wanted to be a bit more efficient and not have to wait for another year like 2018 for a release.
Yeah.
So we had a sort of a time frame in mind, which we discussed with our label to see if we can get something done within this time, we can still release it within 2017. So we kind of, I guess, working to a tighter deadline, I guess, made us a lot more efficient and I guess more in tune with each other, I think, given that we lost the basis at the start of the year. So I think that was a big driving force for us to prove to ourselves that we could essentially create an album with all that stress that we'd gone through. Lyrically, for me, writing lyrics for Earn, it was, I'm influenced by a lot of old literature and art and stuff like that. And if people read the lyrics, I'll probably pick up a lot of things I reference, like there's, from writers from, say, Lovecraft to Jules Verne, even like John Milton, who's my favorite writer. And the artwork itself, so the cover itself is a depiction of Mother Earth essentially pouring the sun onto herself. So I wanted something to show almost the process of becoming ashes, essentially what an urn contains. And I wanted to kind of depict it in a figure being like an old style, almost romanticism pose, to have sort of an old world influence.
Probably should ask, we were discussing this earlier, how exactly do you pronounce your name?
The band or mine?
What's that?
Xenoyr.
Is it Xenoyr?
Yeah. But Zen is fine. Yeah.
Wow,
You got it right.
I did hear it right.
Well, you're probably one of the first.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I did not know.
That's why most of the
And
time
the band is Ne Obliviscaris, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. That's that one I thought was... I'd heard it pronounced on stage. I think that was right.
I just go by Zen. Everyone calls me Zen. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Which is kind of cool, because if you're calm and peaceful, it's Zen.
Yeah. With an X.
Yeah.
We can go. Yeah, you can just cut it all. So
Yeah, we could.
if you think of something.
Yeah, that's fine. He was practicing questions, and now he's drawn a blank, probably.
Yeah.
How's the tour been going? As it's pretty good. It's a great bill. You and the Legion. I like the Legion a lot too.
Yeah, we all really love the Legion as well. So when sort of the idea for them to sort of support us for the North American Canada tour, it was really a no-brainer, I think. We have a lot of crossover fans as well.
Yep.
So the tour, I think, overall is about 27 dates, and I think we're up to our 21st.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, well, actually, might be about 20, around there anyway.
Lose track.
Yeah. We've had it's a lot. It's grown since we've been here last. We've been here. We were here twice within 2016.
Yeah, once opening for Cradle,
Yeah.
and then the headlining
Yeah,
show.
the headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Black Crown Initiative.
Yep. Also a good band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good band. Very good friends, and
Awesome.
So this show we've had about 4 sold out shows so far.
Awesome.
So I can't remember all of them. There was Denver, Calgary, and a couple of other places. Can't really remember, but it's going really well for us. I guess it's shown us that we're continually growing here, and it's one of the reasons we keep coming back because originally we didn't think the US would be sort of our kind of market. Even our label kind of thought Europe is probably where your sound best suits.
Sure.
And but when we came over here the first time, we were blown away by the response. And essentially, that's we keep coming back, and it's continually growing. And Europe's, I guess, got a long way to go in comparison to how the US market's going.
Yeah, if you're from Australia, going to Europe and going to the US is about the same. It's both far away, right?
Yeah. Well, Australia is just a complete pain in the ass if you're a touring band.
Yeah.
Like it's a 14-hour flight or whatever to get to LA from where we live. So it's and
You're from Melbourne, isn't it? Or,
Melbourne, yeah. So you're looking at before you left the country, flights for everyone and whatnot. You're thousands and thousands of dollars in debt before you left the country.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of Australian bands just don't manage to get to leave.
Yeah, I know a band from Perth, which is even worse. It's like you can't be more remote, I think, than being from Perth.
Horrid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice place.
They don't play here very often. They'll be here next September, but
which band's that?
Voyager.
Oh, they're an amazing band.
Yeah, nice guys too.
Yeah, they always come here though. They're always playing like rock.
Yeah, they'll be here September. Yeah. Which I kind of wish you were playing it, and I did kind of try to encourage my friend Glenn to book y'all, but hey, listen, he's got,
Something did come up, but I won't go into that.
That's fine. Okay.
But yeah, no, Voyager. We've always wanted to do a few shows with them, but we haven't really got the chance before, because we kind of miss each other, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. Any bands that y'all are looking bands to watch out for, bands that you like right now that are out? I guess aside from say Black Crown Initiative or Legion, any other bands that are out right now that you might tell people to kind of watch out for?
Are we talking American bands or just bands?
Just bands in general, and if you know anyone from Australia too, it's like
there's Australian bands. There's always bands popping up here and there. Probably, I like a lot of bands that probably aren't doing so much anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But bands that are doing quite well in Australia, you're looking at obviously Voyager.
Yeah.
Caligula's Horse.
Yep.
There's Carnival. Who else have we got?
Is that Carnival with a K? Karni?
Yeah, Carnival.
Yeah.
Karvi.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a pretty cool band. There's Psychroptic also. And one you might have heard of, King Parrot. They're kind of
yes.
like
Yeah.
They're a very entertaining band.
Yeah.
Really good vibe.
Aquilus, right?
Aquilus?
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, Aquilus, they're a band from Melbourne.
Yeah.
I think they were signed to Blood
Music.
Yeah. Well, maybe for them.
Blood Music. Yeah, Blood Music. I know they reissued the
Vinyl,
first album, and they're putting out like 2 Aquilus albums next year, I think.
Yeah.
So.
They're amazing music.
Mm-hmm.
And worldwide, I listen to a lot of black metal and that sort of thing. So
Sure.
I always tend to go down that track. But bands that I can't listen to. I'm listening to at the moment. Bands like Magua, Poland, and Latushka.
Okay.
And the Polish black metal scene's kind of, I guess, the black metal scene at the moment in terms of what's actually what quality's coming out. It's kind of overtaking sort of Norway, Sweden, and all that sort of thing. Well, at least from my perspective, when I was growing up, it was all sort of all the bands were coming from Norway.
Sure.
All these black metal bands that I grew up on, and now
You have bands like Behemoth coming out of Poland. It's they're huge.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
And deservedly so. They're fantastic show.
amazing band. Yeah, definitely, there's something in the water in Poland, I think.
Yeah. Some repressed anger or repressed
I don't know
something.
what
Yeah.
they've got it, but it's like they've got, I don't know, there's a completely different vibe to their music, which I find fascinating.
Yeah. Anything, Kyle?
I guess tell us a little bit about the origins of the band, the early formative years.
Well, where do I start? The band started 2000. I started the band in 2003 with a bass player, and we got a guitarist and drummer along, and that was in April of 2003. September. Well, then we got another guitarist and a female soprano singer, which not a lot of people know. Tim came along in about September of that year. And essentially, within the first couple of years, everyone except myself and Tim changed over. And from there, 2006, we played live for the first time. And we've had a lot of ups and downs, including our French guitarist being deported and trying to get him back in the country. So we had a lot of visa issues from him, and I don't know, a lot of... So we released Portal of I in 2012, I think, Citadel 2014,
Yeah.
if my old memory serves me correctly. And in 2007 we did release our demo, the Aurora Bell. So the music kind of, originally when I started the band, I wanted something more of a, I guess, quite different to what we sound like now. It was meant to be essentially more of a, I guess, a melodic kind of black metal sort of thing.
Yeah.
But still with either a cello or a violin. And so over time, when you change musicians, your sound changes. And if you want the band to stay together, you kind of all learn to adapt to each other and kind of work together. Otherwise, it'll just fall apart. Like, no band's really going to work if there's one person, unless it's everyone's of that mindset that that person writes the music and we're just there to fill in the gaps, that sort of thing. So, but we're a collaborative band and everyone puts in, and essentially that's how I think we've kind of stayed together and writing music, 14 years later. So it's not an easy task, and this is my first band, and I wouldn't want to, well, I've got a side project which, granted, when you do collaborate with other musicians, you do have things that you can't necessarily implement into your sound, purely because it may not fit. And I have a lot of dark stuff that I write and I want to put into music, but I can't necessarily do that with Neo because we're kind of a mixture of everything, light, dark, different colours and whatever. And hence why I have a side project, which is more black metal orientated, with sort of orchestral music as well. So that's my outlet for all the dark stuff. So that I don't have to, not that you would have any resentment towards your own band. It's just like it doesn't fit in that context.
Yeah, another creative outlet is sometimes a really good thing to have.
I think it's important for everyone to have multiple outlets for everything. So so I fuel all that into that, and then Neo goes continues on its progressive way.
Yeah, which is awesome. You've been doing a lot of financing, I think through Patreon, as I recall. How has that worked for y'all in general, and would you recommend that for other bands too much, or what do you think?
Without Patreon, we would not be talking at the moment.
Beg pardon?
We wouldn't be talking.
Right? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
wouldn't be here.
Essentially, Patreon's allowed us to be able to be a lot more flexible in terms of being able to travel worldwide and that sort of thing. Because if you're away from home, not many bands earn money from touring. You're away from home, you lose.
Especially not this far from home.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're away for months at a time, it's very difficult because you have to be aware of the bills and everything you need to pay at home. If people have families and that sort of thing, then it's really difficult. And so I think with Patreon, it's just opened a lot of doors for us, and so it's allowed us to kind of be a bit more creative in what we do and spend more time on the band and just being able to create more. Yeah. But in terms of, I guess, for other bands to do it, if you're a new band, I would probably not advise doing it, because you kind of had to have a relatively solid fan base
Yep.
to do that. To start
Dedicated.
with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Otherwise, it's not much is going to happen. See, essentially, we kind of worked out Patreon. We may have a chance for that to work for us, because a few years ago we did a crowdfunding campaign for us to do like a world tour,
Yeah.
and that kind of the ridiculous amount of support that came out for us was really overwhelming, and it showed us that fans actually gave a shit.
Hey, there's
about
something
what
to
we were
this.
doing. Yeah.
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 So without that, we wouldn't have been able to do that world tour,
Yeah.
but that gave us perspective in terms of what our music meant to our fans. And so we thought, with Patreon, I thought we'll give it a go and see what happens. And and so far it's been ridiculously overwhelming for us with the amount of support that we're getting. It's really hard to contemplate, but we're all very grateful to be actually able to do this like all the time now.
Yeah, just that you can come over here and actually perform, which for us is great. That helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first found you guys, because I found you guys right when Portal of Light came out. I found like this random review on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like just getting into black metal at the time, and I was hooked like from the first time I listened to that. And I was like thinking, damn, that's a band I'll probably never see live. And so like
Had that feeling.
It's
Yeah.
cool that I'm finally getting to see you guys live. Like, and like the fact that like this would be the second time is like pretty cool. So.
Okay, that's cool. Like originally when I started, I had no idea as to sort of how the band would progress. Like I had no idea we would be touring the world and doing big festivals and that sort of thing. So it's kind of in like if you told me like years ago, like in 2003, in 14 years it'll take this long to be doing this. It's just like it's not that it'll turn you off, but it's just like that's a long fucking road. And I think a lot of people don't realize that we've been around for a very long time, and people only, they're hearing her for the first time, but we're not really worldwidely, I guess, publicized so much. So there's not, we still, a lot of people just think we're a relatively new band. But yeah, little do they know that we've done the hard yards. So it's we're only now kind of seeing rewards for all the hard work that we've actually put in. So it's the music world is a very strange thing.
Yeah. Anything else, Kyle?
I guess. What's up for the side project? Like, what do you have in store for the future with that?
Side project. So the side project is called Antiqua. So myself and Lindsay Schoolcraft from Cradle of Filth formed it. We've got 7 members. Everyone's from around the world, in different countries like Germany, Norway, Canada, US. Andy from Black Crown Initiate.
Okay.
So,
That's cool.
it's essentially the sole core of it will essentially be black metal, but with heavy sort of orchestration. And so because we're writing a lot at the moment, we hope to have a full album written within, I'd say early next year, as in written. But all the instruments we want, sort of classical sort of aspects like brass sections, string sections, all that sort of thing. We want it to be authentic.
Okay.
So properly recorded with the proper Gregorian chanting, all that sort of thing. So, because you can get good samples from with keyboards and that sort of thing. But for me, I like the authentic sound.
Yeah, there's always you can always tell that it's fake when you use like the MIDI keyboards. Because I remember, because I've used that before, like recording stuff with friends before, and you just can't get the real thing from the keyboard.
It's never going to sound as good as the real thing. And I'm a stickler for authenticity and those sorts of things. And so it's gonna have a lot of that, and it's gonna be very different, a lot darker sounding than Neo, probably a lot heavier overall.
Okay.
And so we're kind of working. We're actually I'm going through songs and stuff while I'm on the bus and whatever at the moment with them, and it's kind of trying to juggle. Well, now that I've got a little more time, because the Neo album's finished. We've released it, I can kind of breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But everyone's in a different band, and so we're trying to work out when people can write, because we share files through Dropbox and that sort of thing, and throw ideas around, and everyone's in different bands and they're all touring and releasing albums at different times, and so it's pretty hectic, but we're all from established bands, and so we understand what it's like to write in a band. It's not like it's our first band, and so we're kind of familiar with that process, and we know what it takes. But if we were starting it for the first time, it would probably be a mess, and we would be a long time before we released anything. So, ideally, I want to have it all recorded by late next year. But we'll see how we go. So depends on how things go.
Do you collaborate electronically on that, or do you actually get together or try to?
It's all over the internet that we collaborate.
What's that?
All over the internet that we.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
But I did meet up with Lindsay and Justine, our drummer.
Yeah.
In Montreal. So we threw around some ideas and that sort of thing as well. So Justine and Lindsay live quite close, so they can go into the studio and throw around ideas and whatnot. And there's going to be another meetup with a few of the people relatively soon, I think. And so we'll see how it goes. It's we're working our way around, so it's the progress that we've got seems to be a lot more efficient than Neo. So.
Any plans for live performances for this project, or do you think it'll just be studio?
At the moment, it's just studio.
Okay.
But ultimately, we would like to play live because we're all live musicians as well. So, and we like that live aspect, and it is something down the track that we do want to do. But we'll see how we go. It's we already have a lot of interest from people that have shown interest in putting shows on for us and that sort of thing, which is weird. It's like we've never even heard of this before, and so it's really strange. But I guess that comes with people that are, I guess, relatively well known within the industry. So, but yeah, it's an ultimate kind of long-term goal, but it's I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like the kind of project that would translate really well to a live setting.
Yeah, it's like because we this sort of music's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think we all come from I guess maybe aside from maybe Andy, we're all kind of from, I guess, not dramatic bands, but bands that have almost like an aesthetic or atmosphere about them in terms like a darker atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, like Delay, who's our cellist, she plays in a band called Dirty Granny Tales, which is a band from Greece. It's all sort of acoustic kind of music with acoustic guitar, cello, and whatnot. And the two singers have like corpse paint, and they sing in really bizarre voices. And,
wow!
And they're usually within a theatre setting, and they have all like puppetry and big screens, and it's an amazing thing to watch. But it's
like Devin Townsend or something.
It's very twisted and unusual, and it's but I do recommend checking them out. Really
wow, awesome, yeah.
But yeah, it's so when we do something live, eventually it'll be probably along that kind of very dramatic and kind of very dark aesthetic.
Okay. So I guess the last question would be, what's in store for Neo in 2018?
And the future.
Yeah,
beyond that.
Future.
It'll be a very busy year for us next year. We're looking at doing an Australian, like mid-February, we're looking at doing an Australian New Zealand tour, which we've already announced. We're looking to get back across to Europe for a while, and probably back. Well, we'll see how we go. Potentially, that may involve festivals, but I can't say anything at this point in time.
Yeah.
And
there's one that I wish you were booked for, but never mind.
70,000.
70,000.
And we want to get back to the US as well.
Awesome.
We're trying to get back to the US due to, we have visas for a certain period of time. We're trying to get the most out of the visas, so because they're very expensive to get. And during, like, once we get back, we want to start writing as well, sort of early next year. So for the next album, so we're trying to be a bit more proactive. So pretty much trying to tour most continents, so including Asia and stuff as well. So I think maybe a few other projects which kind of throwing around at the moment, but yeah, just primarily touring and trying to get our asses into gear and regards to touring. Sorry, writing. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be busy, and I probably won't be home much. So.
Any message for, I guess, the fans out there, especially the ones that are obviously they're supportive of the Patreon thing?
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you everyone for supporting us, not only by listening to what we create, also supporting us with it's coming to shows or buying stuff online or whatever, or just even mentioning it to people.
Yeah.
It's amazing how often people come up to me and say, my friend told me about you, that I should check you out.
Yeah.
It's just those little things. Like every person that mentions our name is just it means a lot, and so we're forever grateful for.
Yeah, word of mouth is the best thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, and I think a lot of the internet's great for a lot of things, but the people directly around you is very important as well. So every opportunity, but at the same time, anyone that listens to our music is we're really grateful, and that's why we keep coming back to the US, because it's every time we come here we're really welcomed, and it's continually growing, so we're very appreciative. So thank you.
All right. That it?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
a lot of questions.
That's really. All right,
you.
we're gonna cut this off here. There we go.